Hi dear students, dear friends, welcome to Gallant IAS, and this is our 3-in-1 series. This is our history answer writing practice series. We know that history is one of the core subjects in your civil service exam preparation because a good number of questions from history being asked in your prelims and a good number of questions being asked from history in your GS1 mains. And when it comes to history optional, yes, it has too much syllabus overlapping with your mains history or GS1 history. Okay, so we should have a good strategy of answer writing in history so that we shall score well in our optional and in our GS1. Even a mains approach of history will save you in your prelims, solving prelims history questions also. Okay, so the strategy and the tips we already discussed in the previous sessions. Now this is another topic which is, abolition of the privy purse was rightly justified. Comment. Abolition of the privy purse was rightly justified. Comment. This is a question we taken from post-independence. UPSC can always surprise you. So give due weightage to all portions of your history. Now here, before answering this question, try to understand the story of privy purse. When the British left India after getting independence, we know when British left India, they given full freedom to princely states of India to decide their future course of action, either joining India, Pakistan, whatever. Now, privy purses and some privileges were offered to Indian princely states. Okay, privy purses, it's a specified sum of money annually paid to the ruler if he sign instrument of accession, if he is ready to join this India Union. So privy purses and some privileges were offered to Indian princely state rulers in order to get their consent for signing this instrument of accession. And later on, it is in 1971, these privy purses were abolished. Now you have to analyze or you have to comment whether that abolition of privy purses in 1971 can be rightly justified or not. Since the word comment, the directive is comment, yes, you can go for both sides of that justification. Whether it is rightly justified or not, you have to comment on both aspects. Let's answer now. Now coming to these intro keywords, what must be the intro ideas, or what are the keywords you have to bring into the introduction? Yes, privy purses, I told you, there are some privy purses is an annual specified sum of money or a particular sum of money annually paid to ruler or annually paid to the princes of the princely states. Yes, in order to get their consent for accession and integration of that princely state into India Union. Okay, this is a sum of this money annually payable to the ruler of a princely state. Yes, in order to sign that instrument of accession. Okay, so these are some key words which you have to bring into your introduction. Coming to the body part, yes, you will say, you will have to justify or you will have to say whether that abolition of privy purses is justified or not. Okay, before that, you will give these valid points like this. Okay, the relevant points of that, privy purses. This privy purses privy purse was introduced by constitutional provision of this article 291 and 362. Such factual information, solid factual informations you have to give into the body part so that, yes, your answer will be much more impressive. Okay, introduced by constitutional provisions of this article 291 and 362. Okay, so it was a constitutional guarantee already offered by this Constituent Assembly. Now, in 1971, these privy purses offered to Indian princely state rulers that was abolished by this 26th Amendment to the Constitution. Okay, by this 26th Amendment to Indian Constitution in 1971, these privy purses were abolished by then government led by Indira Gandhi. Okay. And introduction of 26th Amendment to Indian Constitution, yes, it led to deletion of these articles 291 and 362. That was abolition of privy purses. Now, what were the valid reasons? How it can be justified? The valid reasons for this abolition of the privy purse. Privy purses offered special status to rulers, which is against these principles of the preamble of Indian Constitution, or which is against this equality principle of the preamble of Indian Constitution. It is providing or giving a special status to rulers, not to ruled. Okay, so that is something discrimination. That is something against the principle equality. Now see, it was against Article 14, Article 15. Then it is not in consonance with these fundamental principles like democracy, social justice, equality, etc. Then also privy purses were adding an additional economic burden or a financial burden to exchequer. You know, in 1960s the monsoons failed and it was a war situation, additional war expenditures. Then already issues are there, social issues are there, developmental issues are there, poverty issues there, hunger issue is there, or maybe developmental issues are there. So the government itself is in a financial deficit or revenue deficit. Okay, so these privy purses were an additional burden upon this Indian exchequer, and it was an anachronistic practice. Anachronistic means it is already outdated. This is something which is a limb of this colonialism. The colonialism is over. Now it is republican government, or it is democracy, it is socialistic pattern, and that practice has to be ended. Okay, these points, you know, by giving these points you can justify this abolition of these privy purses. At the same time, since it is the directive is comment, you have to go against that also. Okay, see, when you say justified, what are the points against that justification? You see, privy purses were actually, it was constitutional guarantee offered by Constituent Assembly to these princely states of India for, yes, for signing that instrument of accession and for integrating into India Union. And again, this was something, a basis for, one of the basis for the creation of Indian Federation. Even this VP Menon, okay, VP Menon who made a statement like this, yes, a state who is committed to or who has the moral commitment is obliged to fulfill its promises and its whatever the early promises and whatever the obligations. Okay, so it is, I mean, a government which morally thinks, or if you think morally, it is moral responsibility of a government to fulfill its promises or whatever the promises and obligations it early made. Okay, thinking so, if you think from that perspective, moral perspective, then it cannot be justified. Then see, integration, this was also a solution to integrate these princely states to India without bloodsheds and riots. Okay, so after some times, yes, abolishing that, it could not be justified. But ultimately, coming to the conclusion point, you have to stand by the government, you have to stand by the constitution, you have to stand by these basic principles of democracy, equality, or this integrity, etc. Okay, so conclusion, we will say that, yes, without ensuring or implementing equality, yes, this political democracy, that is meaningless. If you want to implement political democracy, then you have to maintain that equality, social equality. Okay, social equality or social harmony, and also this political democracy, and also it is to establish an egalitarian society. Yes, such things, whatever is against that principles of equality, liberty, or this socialism, etc., such things must be abolished, such things must be rectified. Okay, so thinking so, for establishing a liberal, democratic, socialist government, obviously, yes, whatever against that principle, such things must be uprooted, that things must be abolished. Thinking so, yes, we shall conclude that without equality, implementation of political democracy, that is quite impossible. And also for creating a socialist, egalitarian society, yes, that from that perspective also we shall say that abolition of these privy purses can be justified. So stand by the government, stand by the constitution. Okay, you should have a very neutral stand. And but still you can give, since the word is comment, you know, directive is comment, you can go against, you can go like in support of that statement and also against that statement. You can say both aspects of that, yes, how, what extent that is justified or not justified. You can go for both. Okay, so this is the way you have to answer it. These are the valid points you have to bring into your answer. Wishing you good luck and practice good number of questions, okay, before your exam. And strategy has to be like this. Don't think that next to 5 months you will only focus on prelims. Not like that. You must have good practice of this mains answer writing in every subjects, not only history, in other areas also. Okay, that's it. So have a balanced diet and have a balanced method of preparation. Wishing all the best. Thank you. And if you find it useful, please do subscribe our channel. Bye.